Hey ladies, it's your girl Truly Inspired Martin, and you're not here by chance. Nah, baby, this is on purpose because what we do here is equip and empower you to become the woman that you desire and deserve. You are here because you are ready to restore, reset, and reclaim your life and increase your emotional intelligence. That won't happen everywhere, but here we make shit happen. So let's get it. Hey ladies, it's your girl Truly Inspired Martin, and baby, we are back and better than ever every Thursday, 7 a.m. Catch us on every podcast platform. And I know you've been out here working on you. I see you, girl, doing what you do. But guess what? The journey continues. So if you are truly ready to go from BS to success, welcome back to the Recrown You podcast. Everybody wants to be, but nobody wants to do. Girl, it's time to be real, raw, and relentless. Everybody wants to be, but nobody wants to do. You know it's time. Recrown you. What's up, guys? It's your girl, Truly Inspired Martin, and welcome back to the Recrown You podcast, ladies. That's right, we are here for you. You, the woman that's ready to unleash her inner badass in all areas of your life. You are here because you are ready to be real. You're ready to be raw. You are ready to own your resilience, own your relentless behaviors. But I know it's probably been a week for you because, baby, the last couple of weeks, it drained me. Okay. It drained me. I feel it in every part of my body. Like, literally. It's crazy how stress and anxiety can manifest itself in so many different ways in your body. Child, that junk will have you out here feeling like you are on your last limb. And I think those are wake up calls, right? Those are the moments when you really have to chime in and check in with yourself just a little bit more and make sure that you are doing what you need to do for you. But for those of y'all that are new to me, welcome to the Recrown You podcast. For my baddies that's back in the building, shout out to you. We love to have you here because together we build community, together we make shit happen. So, just in case you are new here, let me go ahead and reintroduce yourself to, or reintroduce myself to you. See, look at me already. And I am Dana, Truly Inspired Martin. I am a women's EQ strategist. I teach all things emotional intelligence, helping you become more self-aware, right? So over here, we equip and empower, but the work is on you, mama. You come here, you get what you need, you implement, right? Implementation is what changes situations, right? So you got to be willing to do the work. You got to be willing to take your journey and do what you got to do for you. But one of the things that I realized, especially with the holidays coming up and the whole six, like, grief is real because I've dealt with two in the past couple weeks. And I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, hit me like a ton of bricks, like body feels it in every way. Then hit up doctor because I don't know what's going on with me. Like, it hit really hard. And those are one of those check-in moments, right? But one thing that I realized is that the grief that I've been dealing with in recent times also dug up some unresolved issues with grief that I never actually dealt with in the past, right? So not only am I gonna, obviously I go to therapy and the whole nine, but I do believe I need to go specifically to a grief therapy, like a grief counselor that can really like tap into how to really maneuver when you deal with things like this, or how to kind of dig backwards and see if the things that you've dealt with in the past are, triggering you now. Which I know that's not really a question, but I need to know the how, the why, the, the step-by-step blueprint, so to speak, on how to move through that. But as I think through it and I think about grief and the holidays, and I know Thanksgiving just passed, and we're trying to figure out how to deal with Christmas and New Year's, and just this time of year just gives you this feeling of togetherness, right? This feeling of wanting to be around the people that you love and really be able to tap in and, tell the stories, make the memories, laugh, et cetera, et cetera. And although you can do that with those that you still have here, which we need to make sure that we're tapping all the way in with the people that are here. um, I see it happen so much. Like someone will pass away and we'll go through hell and high water for the funeral, or we'll go through hell and high water, like to like say how we feel and et cetera, et cetera. But when the person is alive, to hear it, to see it, to feel it, that's why I try so much to always tell someone I love them, or tell them how I feel about them randomly, or, whatever impact they might have had in my life. Like, I throw out random, sentences and stuff all the time because you just never know. Things happen so suddenly. Life is definitely out here lifing, right? And it's painful to deal with these moments of the what ifs, or just the different feelings that come around when it's the holidays or a special day that's important to that person, or it's something that's significant to you and that person, or whatever it is. But we need to cherish those people that are here as well. Like, love on them, tell them how you feel, tell them how you love them, tell them what makes them great, and all of those good things in the now, because the after is it's hard. You deal with a lot of regret and a lot of, you know, um guilt or pain, or however you want to put it, because you just always feel like you had more time. You always feel like, you could have done more, did this, like, you just never know. And that's the part that I think a lot of us need help with navigating and understanding, is you just never freaking know. But the holidays and grief, like, how do you really navigate those moments, right? Because they say over time things get easier, but it might just, I don't even know if that's the right phrasing, right? Like, it gets easier. I wouldn't necessarily say it gets easier. Um, you just realize that you have to live your life without that person. And you try to find coping mechanisms. You're trying to find ways to navigate without that being your normal reality. Like, you're trying to figure out next steps. You're trying to, I don't know, you're trying to make a new plan for your life, right? Like, especially if that's somebody you talk to every day or whatever that may be, that's hard to fill in those gaps, right? So I can't say that it just gets easier with time. I think it just gets I don't even have words. I can't say it gets easier. I think you just learn how to, right? Like, the crying might get a little um less frequent. The the pain on your heart might just start to diminish a little bit, like piece by piece, but it's the pain that you don't have them. The memories start to fill your mind and maybe makes it a little more joyous, or you get to a point, at some point, whatever that point is in your grief journey, you get to some point where you're able to talk about that person without crying, and you're able to laugh about certain things without feeling guilty or hurt that you can't tell that joke to that person. Like, you just get to a certain place where it's easier to deal with, but it never goes away, right? Like, a lot of people, Like if somebody like cheats on you or something and they're like, I might forgive him, but I won't forget. Like it's the same situation. It's like, God, I might forgive you at some point for taking this person or, whatever plan you had. Like I might forgive you at some point, but I'm sorry, I can't forget them. I can't forget how it happened. I can't forget how I felt. I can't forget how that person made me feel. I can't forget those moments. Like I can't forget the day up. Like I can't forget. And that's kind of the cycle that it goes through. Because at some point you get to a place where you have forgiven, you haven't forgotten, but the hurt of that immediate pain, the hurt of that instant feeling that you felt that day in that moment, for that week, for that month, for that year, for those years, whatever it is, it just starts to soften just a little bit. And that's tough because I can't wait to get to those points. But even when you get to those points, then you have other points that you have to get to again, because death is a reoccurring thing. And we don't get a freaking instruction manual. We're not taught this stuff in school. We're not taught how to deal with or how to prepare for. Like these are not there's nothing that gives you an instruction, a way to, a how to. There's none of that. You just have to figure shit out. And that's tough. Because that feeling where you feel like you're choking and your chest is caving and your heart is racing and your eyes are always watering and you're feeling so numb and so outside of yourself. You're zoned out. You're not feeling like yourself. Your body feels weird. Your heart hurts. Like you're going through the deepest heartbreak that you could ever feel. And you're just disconnected. You're hurt. And that pain is I don't know, man. That it's worse than a heartbreak. But it feels like that because you can feel the emotion in your heart breaking during that time. And yeah, it's been so tough, y'all. It's been so tough. And for me, for the past few weeks, within the same 7 days, I lost two good friends, two great people. Like in the same week, just when I had a minute to finally exhale, to breathe a little bit, then here we come again. And I still wasn't even breathing during that period, but I was out of the place where I was crying nonstop, where I was hurting no matter what I did, couldn't nothing change my mood. Like I had gotten myself out of that little space just to be slapped again. Like that is something wild. You know what was also interesting? So I went to the first funeral, and I don't talk about stuff like this, but I went to the first funeral and my heart hurt so bad. I was tore up because that was my girl. That was my girl. And I was so hurt. And I don't do funerals. Like, truth be told, I do not do funerals because it's been a lot for me, especially ever since my aunt and then my uncles back in the day. And it's been a few funerals that I've had to go through in life. And it's a lot. It's heavy. But I do it when I need to. And I remember going, and then I had a conversation after, the person I was talking to found out I had another person that passed, which is that's my dog too. Like this is like that. That's my girl. Like that's why I'm just like, damn, that's crazy. But I remember the person asked me. They said, "So you just gonna re-traumatize yourself again like that, and you just gonna go again to another funeral within the same month? Like you're gonna do this to yourself again?" And I'm like, "What am I supposed to do? Am I not supposed to pay respects to somebody that was literally my right hand woman while she was still in Atlanta?" Like, even my husband says, "I remember she was the first person you ever brought around me." Like, that was my dog. So what am I supposed to not show up? Like, I don't know. And I was very conflicted with that because it is traumatizing. It is painful. It does hurt. But I don't think I'll feel any better sitting at home not doing what I know I should be doing. So that's also a word for somebody else. The trauma that comes with grief and comes with death and funeral and stuff. Like all of this stuff, it is traumatic. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is traumatic. So tread lightly. Like, you know, proceed with caution. Caution to your heart, to your spirit, to your mind. Like it's hard. It's hard as hell. I'm not gonna hold you. But when you know that you're supposed to do the things and you know that even in relationships, right? When you break up with someone and there's this kind of open endedness, you yearn for closure. And closure can come in so many different ways. And I really honestly believe a lot of people show up to funerals and wakes and the burials and things of that nature to get some form of closure, especially if you're someone like me that did not get the opportunity to truly say goodbye. Like, if you didn't get the opportunity to really say anything, that's hard too. It's really hard. But I do believe that we can get through this. I do believe that there are ways and things that, we can do to try to cope with what life is handing us. And I mean, I started doing research on different things and definitely y'all talk back to me, right? Like get in the comment section under the podcast on Apple Podcasts or whatever. Jump on my Instagram page, Truly Inspired Martin, or on the Recrown You podcast page and talk to me about this episode, right? What are some mechanisms or things that you do to deal with grief during the holidays, right? I've seen some things about lighting a candle, creating a ritual, maybe placing a certain type of memento from that person on the tree, a moment of silence, giving a toast, like acknowledging those that are no longer here, but giving yourself the space to feel how you feel, like the space to feel how you feel. And it's okay to, want to be solo dolo for a little bit, kind of sit in that. But make sure that you're balancing that out with being social as well, because depression comes in those moments of suppression. And when we realize what that looks like and how we're feeling or how we are not aligned with our usual selves, then we can create a game plan to show up accordingly, right? But Allow yourself to go through your stages of grief. And this episode isn't even supposed to be this deep into grief because we got a whole series coming on grief, right? Um, and I think those should be in person because I think there's going to be some freedom in that type of transparency. And that has to happen. Those conversations have to happen. I'm just not ready for it at this exact second, but it's coming. It's coming. Absolutely. But going through those stages of grief, shock, right? That initial shock, denial, like, ain't no way, right? Anger. I done snapped a few times, right? Um, Bargaining. God, if you just, I don't quite understand, but if like you're bargaining to try to figure out how to make this right. Depression, feeling real down and out and dealing with like depression and anxiety, really normal. Testing and acceptance. Now you could stay in one of these 7 stages of grief for quite some time. Some stages might go quick for you, or they might linger for a longer amount of time. But no matter what, no matter the ordeal, you have to stick in there for a little second and do what you need to do because you deserve that. And you got to believe that you deserve that. You deserve to find peace after the storm, right? Like you deserve that. And I think when we get to a place of saying, you know what, I deserve that. Get to a place of saying, you know what, I I want more. I love it here, but I need more for myself. My pain is taking over. I need to step back from this for a sec. When you get to that place, that's something else. Yeah, that's something else. So allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to breathe, allow yourself to know that you can, yeah, and you will. This is not the final emotion you will feel. This is not the final time that you'll have to go with it. Like you're going to have to try to figure out how to support you through this as well as grasping the support of others. And that's hard, especially if you're a person like me. That's always on go. I don't want to sit in it too long because then I have to actually deal with an emotion. Like if you're like me, you might want to just eh. You might want to just let that live for a second. Let it breathe. And I do believe that if you allow yourself the space and the opportunity to find ways to cope, to find things to get you through and share, right? Power of community. If we find different ways to cope, commune, and create opportunities to love, live, and laugh, I believe that we'll be on at least the first step path to unlocking a new level of peace and understanding. Pray if you need to, cry if you must, but fold we will not. So, on this episode, I would like us to take a moment of silence for 2 of my friends, Brandy E. Mallory. We love you, girl. We love you, girl. So let's take a moment for Brandy. Thanks, y'all. And now I'd like us to take another moment of silence for my other friend, Kishma K. James, whom has also gone on to a better place than here. No more pain, my love. No more pain. So let's take a moment of silence for Kishma, aka my girl Keisha. Thanks, y'all. I really do appreciate you guys taking a moment with me to pay our respects. Every day is one day at a time, one step at a time, right? And that's what I always say. I got that from that movie, Creed, Rocky. One step at a time, one punch at a time, one round at a time, every day. It's how I live life. But I'm about to end this episode with a song that is very fitting to this episode. And it sits in my spirit a lot. So I want to share it with y'all. I do not own the rights to this song. It is actually but it is exclusive to, not exclusive, but it's open to everyone to use on the market. So his name is Kyle Hume, Hume, and it's called If I Would Have Known. So we're going to end the episode with this song. So in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to catch y'all next time. Love y'all. I still see you in the places we would go, like your face is painted on the walls. I've been trying to forget all the moments that we spent, 'cause now I do it on my own. Oh, you and I were like this summer, but now it's winter here on my own. If I would've known that you wouldn't be here anymore, I would've made the moments last a little longer. 'Cause now I'm alone, and you're just a memory in my mind. I would've given anything to say goodbye. If I would've known, if I would've known.